Let us begin by understanding the nature of your subconscious mind. This vast, limitless realm within you is the very foundation of your existence. It is the soil in which all your experiences, all your circumstances, all your relationships take root and flourish. Your subconscious mind knows no limitations, no boundaries. It accepts as true whatever you impress upon it, and then works tirelessly day and night to bring that impression into your physical reality. Now you might wonder, Neville, how do we communicate with this powerful subconscious mind? How do we impress upon it the desires we wish to manifest? The answer, my dear friends, lies in those two magical words, I am. You see, I am is the name of God. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself through you. When you declare I am, you are invoking the very essence of creation. You are stepping into your divine nature, claiming your birthright as a co-creator of Creator. But here's the crucial point that so many miss. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between what you perceive as positive or negative statements following I am. It simply accepts whatever follows as a command, a blueprint to be manifested in your physical reality. This is why it's of utmost importance to be vigilant about the words you attach to I am. Consider for a moment the difference between these two statements. I am struggling financially and I am abundantly wealthy. Both begin with I am, but can you feel the vast chasm between the realities they create? The first statement, though it may seem like a mere observation of current circumstances, is actually a powerful command to your subconscious mind to perpetuate financial struggle. The second statement, regardless of your current bank balance, is a divine decree for abundance to manifest in your whole life. This, my friends, is the power of I am affirmations. They go straight to your subconscious mind, bypassing the rational, the logical fact that otherwise resist or deny them. When you declare I am, you are speaking in the language of creation itself, and your subconscious mind listens and obeys. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't it dishonest to say I am wealthy when my current reality shows otherwise? To this, I say your current reality is nothing more than the outpicturing of your past assumptions and beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted in your subconscious mind in the past. By consciously choosing new I am statements, you are planting new seeds, seeds that will inevitably grow into a new reality. Remember, your subconscious mind does not argue with you. It does not question whether your I am statements align with your current circumstances. It simply accepts them as fact and then works to bring them into manifestation. This is why I am affirmations are so powerful. They go straight to the source, to the very foundation of your reality. Let us explore some powerful I am affirmations for success, wealth, and happiness. As I share these with you, I invite you to feel the truth of them, to allow them to sink deeply into your being. For it is not the mere repetition of words that creates change, but the feeling associated with them. Begin with this fundamental affirmation, I am that I am. Feel the power in these words. You are declaring your oneness with the infinite creative power of the universe. You are stepping into your divine nature, recognizing that you are not separate from the source of all creation, but are that very source expressing itself in human form. Now let's focus on success. Declare with conviction, I am successful in all my endeavors. Feel the truth of this statement. See yourself moving through life with ease and grace, everything you touch turning to gold. Feel the confidence, the certainty that comes with knowing success is your natural state. For wealth, affirm I am abundantly wealthy. As you say these words, feel the sensation of financial freedom. Feel the security, the peace of mind that comes with knowing all your needs are met and exceeded. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, driving the car you desire, enjoying the lifestyle you've always wanted. And for happiness, proclaim, I am radiantly happy and fulfilled. Let a smile spread across your face as you say these words. Feel joy bubbling up from within you, permeating every cell of your being. See yourself moving through life with a lightness of spirit, finding joy in every moment, in every experience. These affirmations, my dear friends, are not mere positive thinking. They are not empty words or wishful thinking. They are powerful commands to your subconscious mind, declarations of the reality you choose to experience. When you state I am, you are literally choosing which version of yourself to be, which reality to inhabit. But here's a crucial point. The power of these affirmations, not in their repetition, but in the repetition they evoke. Your subconscious mind responds not to words, but to feelings. This is why it's essential to feel the truth of your AM statements as you declare them. You must feel successful, feel wealthy, feel happy. For in feeling it, you are dwelling in that state, and what you dwell in must objectify its life in your world. Now, some of you might find it challenging to feel the truth of these affirmations when your current reality seems to contradict them. This is where the art of imagination comes into play. Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming. It is the very workshop wherein you forge your reality. When you declare, I am wealthy, close your eyes and see yourself living in abundance. Feel the texture of the clothes you would wear. Smell the leather interior of your luxury car. Hear the sounds of the ocean from your beachfront property. Engage all your senses in this imaginal act. For your subconscious mind does differentiate between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. As you consistently engage in these imaginal acts, coupled with your I am affirmations, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are overwriting old limiting beliefs with new and empowering ones. And as your subconscious mind accepts these new programs, it begins to reshape your outer world to match your inner convictions. Remember, my friends, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Change your inner world through the power of I am affirmations and vivid imagination, and your outer world must change to reflect this new inner reality. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of how these I am affirmations work their magic on your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like a fertile field, ready to grow whatever seeds are planted in it. Your conscious mind is the gardener choosing which seeds to plant. The words that follow I am are the seeds, and your feelings are the water and sunlight that nourish these seeds. When you consistently plant seeds of success, wealth, and happiness through your I am affirmations, and nourish them with the sunlight of your imagination and the water of your emotions, they cannot help but grow into magnificent realities in your life. Here's a word of caution: be vigilant about the seeds you're planting. Every time you say I am, whether consciously or unconsciously, you are planting a seed in your subconscious mind. How often have you caught yourself saying things like, I am tired, I am broke, I am stressed? These two are powerful affirmations, commanding your subconscious mind to create more experience of fatigue and anxiety. This is why it's crucial to be mindful of your habitual I am statements. Become aware of the words you attach to I am health throughout your day. When you catch yourself in a negative I am statement, immediately revise it. Turn I am tired into I am energized and vibrant. Transform I am broke into I am abundantly prosperous. Shift I am stressed to I am calm and centered. As you practice this mindfulness, you'll begin to see how often you've been unconsciously affirming realities you don't desire. But do not judge yourself for this. Simply observe, revise, and move forward with your new empowering affirmations. Now let's explore some more powerful I am affirmations for different areas of your life. For health and vitality, affirm I am the picture of perfect health. Feel the vitality coursing through your veins, the strength in your muscles. See yourself moving with grace and energy, your body functioning in perfect harmony. For relationships, declare I am deeply loved and cherished. Feel the warmth of love enveloping you. See yourself surrounded by people who adore and appreciate you. Feel the deep connection, the mutual respect, the joy of sharing your life with others who truly value you. For career success, proclaim I am excelling in my chosen field. See yourself as a leader in your industry, respected and admired by your peers. Feel the satisfaction of doing work that you love, work that makes a difference in the world. Experience the thrill of achieving your professional goals with ease and grace. As you work with these affirmations, remember that repetition is key. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition. The more you repeat your churn I am statements, the more deeply they become embedded in your subconscious, and the more quickly they manifest in your outer world. But mere repetition is not enough. You must infuse your affirmations with feeling, with emotion. Emotion is the fuel that powers your affirmations, propelling them from mere words to living realities. When you declare, I am wealthy, feel the excitement, the gratitude, the sense of freedom that comes with confidence. When you affirm, I am loved, feel the warmth, the deep sense of connection that love brings. Now, my dear friends, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing the power of I am affirmations. Many ask me, Neville, how long will it take for my affirmations to manifest in my physical reality? To this, I say time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of the subconscious, where all creation takes place, there is no time. There is only the eternal now. Your role is not to worry about when or how your desires will manifest. Your role is simply to plant the seed through your I am affirmation, to nourish it with the waters of your emotion and the sunlight of your imagination, and then to live in the unwavering faith that what you have planted must come to fruition. This faith, this absolute knowing is crucial. For you see, doubt is all-powerful affirmation. When you declare, I am wealthy, but then doubt its possibility, you are essentially saying, I am not wealthy. And this is the command your subconscious mind will follow. Your work is to cultivate unshakable faith in the power of your I am statements, regardless of what your physical senses tell you. Remember the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your absolute knowing, is the very substance from which your desires are fashioned. It is the evidence of your desires' fulfillment, even before it becomes visible to your physical eyes. As you work with your I am affirmations, you may find that doubts and limiting beliefs arise. This is natural. These doubts and beliefs are simply the old programs in your subconscious mind fighting to survive. Do not fight against them. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your chosen I am statement. With consistent practice, these old programs will fade away, replaced by your new empowering beliefs. Now let us delve into the power of I am affirmations for personal growth and self-realization. For you see, my dear friends, the ultimate purpose of these affirmations is not merely to acquire material possessions or achieve worldly success. While these are wonderful byproducts, the true power of I am lies in its ability to awaken you to your divine nature. Affirm with deep conviction, I am one with the infinite power of the universe. Feel your connection to all that is. Recognize that you are not separate from the source of all creation, but are that very source expressing in human form. Feel the limitless power that flows through you, the infinite wisdom that is available to you at all times. Declare, I am the author of my life story. Feel the incredible freedom that comes with recognizing your power to shape your reality. See yourself as the writer, the director, and the lead actor in the grand play of your life. Know that you have the power to rewrite any part of your story that no longer serves you. Proclaim, I am constantly evolving and growing. Feel yourself expanding, reaching new heights of understanding and awareness. See yourself shedding old limitations, old fears, old doubts, and stepping into the fullness of your potential. Feel the excitement of continuous growth and self-discovery. As you work with these affirmations, you are not only reshaping your outer world, but you are also transforming your very sense of self. You are stepping into your power as a divine being, recognizing your true nature as a creator. Now, my friends, I want to address another crucial aspect of working with I am of working. It's not enough to simply repeat these statements in your mind or even out loud. To truly harness their power, you must embody them. You must live as if they are already true. When you declare, I am successful, you must carry yourself with the confidence and poise of a successful person. When you affirm, I am abundantly wealthy, you must make decisions from a place of abundance rather than lack. When you proclaim, I am deeply loved, you must interact with others from a place of love and openness. This embodiment is crucial because your subconscious mind doesn't just respond to your words. It responds to your entire being. Your posture, your facial expressions, your tone of voice, your actions, all of these send powerful messages to your subconscious mind. When you fully embody your I am statements, you are sending a clear, congruent message to your subconscious, accelerating the manifestation of your desires. Remember, my dear listeners, you are always affirming something with your I am. Every thought, every word, every action is an affirmation. The question is, are you affirming what you want or what you don't want? Are you affirming your power or your limitations? You affirming abundance or lack, health or illness, love or loneliness? The choice is always yours. And it is a choice you make moment by moment, day by day. Each I am statement is a declaration of the self you choose to be, the reality you chose to experience. Choose wisely, choose consciously, choose in alignment with your deepest desires. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a point of utmost importance. The power of I am affirmations is not some external force that you need to acquire or develop. It is your very nature. It is who you are at the core of your being. You are the I am that creates worlds. When you declare I am, you are tapping into the very power that creates universes. You are aligning yourself with the fundamental creative force of existence. This is why these affirmations are so powerful. They are not merely positive statements, but cosmic declarations of your divine nature. So, my dear friends, as you go forth from this place, carrying this knowledge with you, I urge you to yield I am statements with reverence, with awareness, with love. Recognize the immense power you wield with every I am declaration. Use this power wisely, use it lovingly, use it to create a life that reflects your highest vision for yourself and for the world. Begin with powerful I am affirmations. As you wake before your feet touch the floor, declare I am grateful for another beautiful day. I am filled with energy and enthusiasm. I am ready to receive all the good that this day has to offer. Throughout your day, be mindful of your I am statements. When faced with challenges, affirm, I am capable of handling anything that comes my way. I am resourceful and creative. I am growing stronger with every experience. As you interact with others, declare I am a beacon of love and positivity. I am attracting wonderful people and experiences into my life. I am making a positive difference in the world. And as you retire for the night, affirm I am thankful for all the blessings in my life. I am releasing this day with love and preparing for a restful sleep. I am excited the wonderful experiences tomorrow will bring. Remember, my friends, these affirmations are not mere words. They are the very fabric from which you weave the tapestry of your life. They are the colors with which you paint your reality. They are the notes with which you compose the symphony of your existence. As you consistently work with these I am affirmations, you will begin to notice changes in your life. These changes may be subtle at first, a shift in your mood, a new opportunity presenting itself, a harmonious interaction where there was once conflict. Acknowledge these changes, no matter how small, with gratitude, for they are the first fruits of your new consciousness, the early manifestations of your empowering affirmations. And as you notice these changes, let them fuel your faith. Let them strengthen your conviction in the power of your I am statements. For this is the law of your being. What you consistently affirm with feeling must objectify itself in your world. But remember, the greatest change, the most profound transformation will occur within you. As you consistently declare empowering I am statements, you are reconditioning your entire consciousness. You are literally rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that support your desired reality. You will find yourself naturally thinking more positively, feeling more confident, acting more boldly. You will find yourself naturally attracted to people, experiences, and opportunities that align with your new self-concept. You'll find yourself making decisions from a place of abundance, love, and power, rather than from fear, lack, or limitation. This inner transformation is the real miracle of I am affirmations. For as you change your concept of you step into the truth of your divine nature, your entire world must reshape itself to match the new inner reality. So, my dear friends, I challenge you to embark on this journey of transformation. Commit to working with I am affirmations consistently, passionately, faithfully. Make them a central part of your daily spiritual practice. Write them down, speak them aloud, feel their truth in every fiber of your being. And as you do, watch in awe as your life transforms. Watch as success flows to you effortlessly, as abundance becomes your natural state, as happiness permeates every aspect of your existence. Watch as you step into the fullness of your divine nature, recognizing yourself as the powerful creator you truly are. For you are the I am. You are the power that creates worlds. You are the author of your life story. You are the architect of your reality. Embrace this truth, live from it, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Go forth, my dear friends, with this knowledge. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, use it to create a life that reflects your highest vision. For in doing so, you are not only transforming your own life, but you are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. You are showing others what is possible when we tap into the power of I am. Remember, go straight to your subconscious mind. Your I am affirmations are seeds planted in a fertile soil, infinite possibility. Nurture them with your faith, water them with your emotion, and watch as they grow into the magnificent realities you desire. You are powerful beyond measure. You are divine. You are the I am. Now go and create the life of your dreams. For it is your birthright. It is your nature. It is who you truly are. Thank you. And may your I am affirmation guide you to the fulfillment of your highest potential.
Everything you behold in your outer world is but a mirror, an echo of the energy you entertain within. The world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. It is not circumstance, nor chance, nor fate that shapes the architecture of your life, but the unseen movements of your inner being. You are not a passive observer in this universe. You are its cause. When you shift your energy, when you alter the vibrational essence of your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions, you do not merely invite change. You command it. The secret lies not in trying to manipulate the outer world, but in becoming conscious of the power within you to feel a new reality into existence. There is no power outside your awareness, no authority greater than your imagination. What you accept as true, what you dwell upon in the silence of your soul, what you dare to believe in the unseen, these things give birth to your world. So I invite you now to journey inward, to step beyond the illusion of limitation, and to awaken to the truth. If you shift your energy, your reality must follow. This is law, this is life, and this is your moment to remember who you truly are. The world you see around you, every event that unfolds, every person you encounter, every circumstance that repeats itself, all of it is a reflection of the inner state of your consciousness. It is not by accident or coincidence that your life takes the form it does. The external world is a mirror, a precise and faithful echo of the thoughts you habitually think, the emotions you routinely feel, and the beliefs you unconsciously hold as true. Life is not a chaotic stream of unrelated events. It is a carefully orchestrated performance, governed by the energy you carry within. There is no separation between the inner and the outer. What you feel deeply and continuously within yourself will eventually crystallize in the physical world, for the two are intimately intertwined. This truth is often hidden from those who seek answers only in the external realm. People look to change jobs, relationships, homes, or cities in hopes of finding a new reality, not realizing that unless they alter the vibrational state of their own being, the patterns will simply repeat under different disguises. You may leave one place only to meet the same experience in another. You may walk away from a person only to attract someone just like them. You may try to fix the world outside, but the root remains within. Until your consciousness transforms, your world cannot. Your predominant mood, your dominant tone of energy, is the silent script writing the story of your life. What you believe about yourself at the deepest level determines the circumstances that unfold around you. If you carry the energy of lack, you will walk through a world that affirms scarcity. If you carry the energy of unworthiness, people and situations will rise to reflect that judgment. If you silently assume that life is difficult, unfair, or limited, it will obligingly mirror that belief back to you. The universe does not contradict your assumptions, it obeys them. This reflection is not punishment, it is revelation. The world is showing you what you are entertaining within. It is offering you a living picture of your inner activity. The people you meet are messengers of your energy. The situations you find yourself in are manifestations of your assumptions. When you feel joy, you begin to meet people who match that joy. When you walk in confidence, opportunities arise to match that certainty. When you believe in abundance, life responds with unexpected gifts. Not because the world is suddenly being kind to you, but because it was always kind. It was simply waiting for you to align with its nature. The reason this principle seems hidden to many is because of how we are trained to perceive life. From early on, we are taught to react rather than create. We learn to respond to circumstances as though they are fixed, as though the world is something separate from us that happens to us. But this is a misunderstanding. You are not a powerless observer. You are a powerful projector. The conditions of your life are not fixed entities. They are fluid reflections, shaped by the unseen energy of your consciousness. The lens through which you view the world is the very thing constructing it. Even your body, your health, and your physical surroundings are reflections of your inner state. The tension you carry, the illness that appears, the vitality you feel, all are messages from the invisible to the visible. They are signposts pointing back to what you believe and feel most often. When a person begins to shift their thoughts, when they change the emotional frequency they radiate, they will notice a gradual but undeniable change in the landscape of their life. It may begin subtly, a new encounter, a surprising opportunity, a feeling of peace in places where stress once ruled. But over time, the entire scenery begins to reflect the new vibration. The outer rearranges itself to match the new inner script. You are not merely in the world is in you. What you see is the projection of what you believe. The most empowering truth a person can awaken to is that they are not trapped by circumstance. They are never truly stuck. They may feel imprisoned by the conditions of life, but those conditions are reflections, and reflections can be changed. Not by force, not by desperate action, but by the quiet, consistent reconditioning of the inner life, by changing the way you see yourself, by altering what you accept as possible for you, by shifting your dominant emotional tone. You set into motion an energetic realignment that the world must follow. It is easy to overlook this when caught in the noise and rush of daily life. It is easy to blame others, to feel victimized, to assign power to something or someone outside of yourself. But the still unwavering truth remains. The source is always within. The origin is not in events but in consciousness. What you accept as true about yourself and the world becomes the blueprint from which your reality is built. And so if the outer world appears hostile, chaotic, or stagnant, it is not a matter of fixing the outer but of turning inward and asking, what within me is being reflected out there? There is no power greater than self-awareness, for it grants you the ability to trace every effect back to its cause. When you recognize that you are the origin of your reality, you no longer fight the world. You transform it by transforming yourself. As you shift your emotional center, your mental focus, your spiritual alignment, the mirror cannot help but change its reflection. Imagination is not a child's plaything or a fleeting daydream. It is the creative force of your reality. It is the sacred faculty through which the unseen becomes seen, the invisible becomes visible, and the formless takes shape in the world. Every structure, every invention, every piece of art, every shift in human history was first born in the quiet space of imagination before it was ever carved into reality. It is the womb of creation, the canvas where life's events are painted before they unfold. What you imagine with intensity and emotional conviction imprints itself upon your consciousness, and what is impressed within must be expressed without. There is no separation between imagination and manifestation. They are two parts of one divine movement. When you allow yourself to imagine with clarity and purpose, you begin to move beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. You are no longer confined by what your senses report to you. Instead, you step into a deeper truth. The truth that your mind, your awareness, your capacity to feel and visualize is what shapes your life. The images you hold, the scenes you rehearse, the outcomes you dwell on, they are not idle fantasies. They are blueprints being drafted within the workshop of your soul. Your imagination is the instrument by which you tell the universe what you are ready to receive. Many people use this power unconsciously. They rehearse fear. They visualize worst-case scenarios. They imagine rejection, failure, conflict, and then wonder why life echoes back that vibration. But when you learn to use imagination deliberately, with discipline and faith, it becomes the most powerful tool for transformation. It allows you to inhabit the reality you desire before the world shows you any evidence of it. It lets you feel rich while your bank account is empty, to walk in love while your relationship status is unchanged, to dwell in peace while storms still rage around you. This inner embodiment is not delusion, it is creation. The moment you feel it real, you begin to call it forth. The universe does not respond to your begging, it responds to your being. Imagination makes being possible before doing becomes necessary. When you live internally from a state, the outer world begins to reflect that state. You are not required to know how things will come to pass. You are not asked to figure out the steps, to manipulate circumstances, or to control others. You are simply invited to dwell, with faith and repetition, in the inner experience of the wish fulfilled. The how is not your domain. Your task is the vision. Your task is the belief. Your task is the emotional alignment with the scene you have crafted. This process is not a performance or a ritual to impress some external force. It is a communion with the creative intelligence that flows through you. You are not separate from the source of life. You are an extension of it. An imagination is the channel through which that divine life flows into form. When you sit quietly and enter into the vivid experience of your desired reality, you are not pretending. You are not escaping. You are creating. That inner activity is more real than the transient appearances that surround you. For all appearances change, but the state you sustain inwardly is the seed that determines what comes next. Imagination must be engaged with feeling. Dry mental images do not carry the creative charge necessary to bring about transformation. You must feel the scene. You must live in it internally. You must feel the joy of receiving, the gratitude of having, the freedom of being. The more you repeat this inner dwelling, the more natural it becomes. And what becomes natural becomes inevitable. The world will conform itself to the image you have formed within, just as water takes the shape of the container into which it is poured. This inner vision does not require permission. It does not depend on evidence. It requires only your willingness to trust what you see inside more than what you see outside. This is the test of faith, not blind belief in something out there, but confident participation in the truth within. When you begin to prioritize your imagination over your memory, when you favor possibility over probability, you break free from the inertia of your past and step into the power of the present moment. Imagination becomes your guide, your compass, your silent architect. There is no person too ordinary, no situation too fixed, no life too broken that cannot be reshaped by imagination. You do not need to wait for a miracle. You are the miracle. The images you choose to hold, the life you repeatedly live within your mind, the assumptions you carry as you fall asleep at night, these are the seeds from which your future will grow. Every great transformation begins not with action, but with vision. Action follows belief. Movement follows inner knowing. The outer rises up to meet the picture you sustain inwardly, because the world must obey the law of consciousness. To imagine is to declare, I am more than what has been. I am more than what is seen. I am what I choose to see, and I will live as though it were already so. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are aligning with the highest aspect of yourself, the divine creative force within you that seeks to express, expand, and elevate. Through imagination, you become the author, the artist, the architect of your experience. You are no longer living at the mercy of events. You are living as the cause of them, quietly, powerfully, faithfully. Assumption is the hidden key that unlocks the doors of your reality. It is not wishful thinking or idle hope. It is a conscious decision to accept something as true before there is any physical evidence to support it. It is the act of claiming with inner certainty that what you desire is already yours, even when the world gives you every reason to doubt. Assumption is the sacred bridge between imagination and manifestation. It is the quiet inner stance that says, this is my truth, and holds to that truth until the outer world reshapes itself in agreement. The world does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you assume. Wanting alone creates distance. Assuming closes the gap. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to become it inwardly before it becomes visible outwardly. This is not about forcing belief, but about dwelling so deeply in the inner reality that it begins to feel more real than the physical world. When you assume something to be true, your mind begins to reorder itself around that truth. Your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors align with the new state, and life begins to reflect this new alignment. The assumption becomes the state of consciousness you carry, and from that state your actions become effortless, natural extensions of who you now are. You no longer strive, you no longer beg, because you are no longer outside your desire, you are one with it. This principle operates constantly, whether you are aware of it or not. Most people assume from lack, from fear, from unworthiness. They do not call it assumption, they call it reality. They assume that things are hard, that people can't be trusted, that they are not lucky, that success is for others. These assumptions are not questioned, they are accepted as fact. And so the world mirrors those assumptions back, reinforcing the illusion that they are true. But once you awaken to this principle, you begin to see that reality is not fixed, it is fluid, and your assumptions are the mold from which it is cast. Change the mold and the form must follow. To live from assumption is to walk by inner vision, not by outer evidence. It requires a discipline of mind and a courage of heart, because the world around you may still reflect the old story. But assumption is not reactive, it is creative. It does not wait for confirmation, it gives birth to confirmation. When you assume that you are already who you want to be, you begin to think differently, speak differently, and make choices that align with that identity. The universe responds not because it is being manipulated, but because it is governed by law. The law is simple. What you accept as true becomes your experience. This is why assumption must be felt. It is not enough to merely say the words, you must feel the truth of your new state. The feeling is the secret ingredient, the living proof that your mind and heart are in agreement. You may not know when the outer will shift, but that is not your concern. The moment you embody the assumption inwardly, you have moved into a new timeline. Everything in your reality will begin to rearrange itself to support that new version of you. People will show up differently, circumstances will change, and opportunities will emerge, not by chance but by alignment. There is a deep stillness in assumption. It is not frantic, it does not grasp or chase. It rests in the knowing that what is held within must express itself without. When you assume health, you begin to feel health. When you assume abundance, you notice the smallest signs of wealth and multiplication. When you assume love, you radiate it, and it returns to you multiplied. This process may appear mystical, but it is exact. It is not about trying to make something happen. It is about allowing what you already hold as true to unfold in perfect order. Assumption requires repetition. The old assumptions may try to reassert themselves through doubt or fear, but this is only the residue of past conditioning. When you persist in the new assumption quietly, confidently, without needing the world's immediate agreement, you begin to dissolve the power of the old pattern. Every time you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you deepen the groove of the new reality. Over time, that assumption becomes so natural that it no longer feels like pretending, it feels like remembering. This is the essence of faith, not blind belief in something distant, but full embodiment of something present but unseen. It is knowing that the invisible roots of your assumption are growing beneath the surface, even if nothing seems to be happening above ground. It is holding fast to your inner world, knowing that the outer world is on its way to meet you. The seed has been planted, the form must appear. Through assumption, you take responsibility for your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstance or a product of past experience. You become the initiator of your reality, the director of your inner play, the chooser of your states. There is no waiting for a sign. The assumption is the sign. Once you accept that what you desire is already yours in consciousness, the journey becomes one of unfolding, not attaining. You are no longer seeking. You are remembering who you already are, and allowing that remembrance to shape your world. Your emotional vibration is the silent architect of your life. It speaks a language louder than words, clearer than thoughts, and more powerful than action alone. Every emotion you feel radiates an energetic frequency that shapes the experiences you draw into your reality. You do not attract what you want with your intellect. You attract what you consistently feel. The emotional tone you carry is not an accessory to your life. It is the command center. It tells the universe who you believe you are and what you are prepared to receive. You can speak affirmations all day long, but if they are not supported by emotion, they remain hollow sounds. It is the emotion, the vibration, that gives them life. Most people are unaware of what they are emitting emotionally. They move through their day reacting to circumstances, unaware that their emotional reactions are setting the stage for tomorrow's reality. A person who consistently feels frustrated, anxious, or unworthy is unconsciously affirming those emotions as their dominant state of being. And because the outer world reflects the inner state, life responds accordingly. The same patterns, the same disappointments, the same limitations repeat. Not because life is punishing them, but because life is echoing back the frequency they are sending out. Emotions are not private, they are generative. They do not simply pass through you, they create through you. When you begin to understand the power of emotional vibration, you stop trying to fix the outer world and begin to tend to your inner world with greater care. You start to observe your feelings not as random fluctuations, but as indicators of alignment. If you feel peace, you are aligned with clarity and truth. If you feel joy, you are aligned with abundance. If you feel deep trust, you are aligned with faith. These emotional states are not dependent on external events. They are internal postures that call forth external evidence. Feeling comes first, the world follows. To shift your reality, you must begin by shifting your emotional home. You must ask yourself, what state do I live in most often? Not what do I visit briefly after reading something inspiring, but where do I dwell emotionally day after day? Is it worry or confidence? Is it hope or dread? Is it empowerment or helplessness? This emotional home becomes the atmosphere of your consciousness, and everything you experience is born from that atmosphere. It is not enough to feel good occasionally. Your life reflects your dominant vibration, not your occasional elevation. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It elevates your vibration without requiring any external change. When you feel grateful for what you have, and even more so for what you are calling into being, you send out a signal of sufficiency, of love, of trust. Gratitude tells the universe that you recognize your abundance, and that signal begins to draw more experiences that align with that emotion. Likewise, emotions like resentment, envy, and fear lower your vibration and constrict your reality. They tighten the flow of energy, cut off opportunities, and create a lens through which you interpret life in limited terms. You do not have to be perfect. Emotions will fluctuate, and that is natural. But the key is to become aware of the emotions you feed and nurture. Do you dwell in self-pity, or do you rise into self-respect? Do you hold on to past hurt, or do you choose the freedom of forgiveness? Every choice shapes your frequency, and your frequency shapes your field of attraction. When you walk through life carrying the emotional tone of your desired outcome, the world begins to reflect that tone back in unexpected ways. Feeling is creative power. It is the essence of manifestation. When you emotionally embody a state before it is visible, you create a magnetic field around you that begins to reorganize reality. People, situations, opportunities, they begin to shift in accordance with your inner vibration. The higher the vibration, the clearer the signal. The clearer the signal, the faster the alignment. This is not about pretending or ignoring what you feel. It is about becoming intentional with what you choose to dwell in. You honor your emotions, but you do not allow the lower ones to dictate your life. There is a quiet discipline in choosing a higher vibration, especially when the outer world appears unchanged. It is easy to fall back into the familiar energy of doubt, fear, or frustration. But when you choose to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, even while your senses suggest otherwise, you are not being naive, you are being powerful. You are declaring through feeling that you are the creator, not the reactor. And that declaration carries energetic weight. It shifts timelines. It bends circumstances. It attracts people and resources that match your new emotional identity. Every morning, every moment, you are emitting something. Your presence is not neutral. It communicates. People may not always hear your words, but they always feel your energy. And your energy, your emotional vibration, is either expanding your life or shrinking it. When you raise your vibration intentionally, through gratitude, through love, through faith, you rise into a reality that matches that vibration. You become magnetic, not just to things, but to transformation itself. Your entire field becomes a portal through which new possibilities enter, not because you chased them, but because you matched them. And in this match, creation becomes effortless. Faith is the unseen foundation upon which all creation rests. It is not blind allegiance to an external doctrine or a mere hope for things to improve someday. True faith is an inner conviction, a deep knowing that transcends appearances. It is the spiritual certainty that what you have imagined, assumed, and felt is already real, already present, and already moving toward expression. Faith is the invisible substance that anchors you in the unseen while the visible is still catching up. It allows you to walk in alignment with your desires before they manifest, to speak with authority before the facts agree, and to act with confidence while the evidence is still invisible. It is the force that bridges the gap between vision and visibility, between desire and demonstration. Faith is not passive. It is an active, dynamic state of being. It is not about sitting back and waiting. It is about inwardly preparing, emotionally aligning, and mentally dwelling in the end result before it ever shows up. To have faith is to declare with your energy, it is done, even when the world insists it is not. It is to walk as if the outcome is certain, even when logic suggests it's unlikely. This kind of faith is not manufactured. It is chosen. It is an intentional return again and again to the inner vision, despite what your senses may report. Every time you feel doubt, fear, or delay, you are invited to return to faith, not by fighting the doubt, but by feeding the belief. Faith must be nurtured like a fire. Left unattended, it can fade under the weight of daily distractions, outer noise, and lingering insecurities. But when tended, when protected, and when deliberately fed with truth, vision, and gratitude, it becomes unshakable. It becomes the dominant tone of your being, and from that tone your reality is shaped. The outer world responds to the energy of faith with precision. What you believe deeply, what you expect consistently, must move toward you, for reality cannot help but mirror back your inner conviction. Living by faith means you no longer require evidence to believe something is true. Instead, you let the belief itself become the evidence. You let the feeling of already having it be enough. You no longer chase confirmation. You live in confirmation. You no longer wait for the breakthrough. You walk as one who has already received it. This inner shift is powerful because it changes your relationship with time, struggle, and uncertainty. Faith lifts you out of the realm of lack and into the field of fulfillment, where everything is already accomplished in spirit and simply awaiting expression. Faith also dissolves resistance. When you are fully convinced inwardly, you stop asking how and when. You stop needing to control the process or measure progress by appearances. You surrender the timing, the methods, the pathways, and instead rest in the knowing that the unseen is working in your favor. This rest is not laziness, it is alignment. It is the peaceful assurance that life is unfolding in divine order, even if the steps ahead are not yet revealed. Faith removes urgency, replaces anxiety with expectancy, and transforms waiting into preparation. There is a sacred strength in those who live by faith. They are not swayed by fluctuations, not discouraged by delays, and not distracted by detours. Their inner eye is fixed on the vision, and their heart is rooted in certainty. They do not beg life to shift, they command it through their inner stance. Their energy carries the quiet authority of someone who already knows, already receives, already dwells in the fulfilled promise. And because they do, life responds in kind. Doors open, synchronicities appear. The impossible becomes ordinary, not because of effort but because of unwavering alignment. Faith must become your dwelling place, not your vacation spot. It must be where you live emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You cannot visit it occasionally and expect transformation. You must carry it with you in silence and in storm. You must train your mind to return to it when fears creep in, when circumstances shake, when delays tempt you to quit. The strength of your faith is not in how loud it shouts, but in how quietly it endures. It holds the line. It keeps standing. It keeps believing, not with desperation, but with divine calm. This faith is not something given to a chosen few. It is a universal power available to all who are willing to trust what they feel more than what they see. It grows stronger with practice. Every time you imagine the end result, every time you feel the emotion of the fulfilled desire, every time you assume the outcome with joy and gratitude, you are exercising faith. And like a muscle, it expands with use. Your confidence deepens. Your energy stabilizes. Your reality shifts. The person who lives in faith carries a different frequency. They are not ruled by appearances. They see beyond the surface. They speak from the outcome, not toward it. They carry a joy that has not yet been justified, a peace that seems unreasonable, a power that is not of this world, and that vibration creates ripple effects. It calls forth new people, new ideas, new resources, not through force but through frequency. The outer must eventually match the inner, because that is the law. You are always creating from your state, and when that state is rooted in unwavering faith, all things are possible. Shift your energy, and you shift your reality. This is not just a poetic phrase. It is a law, a living truth that governs every moment of your existence. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are the creator of it. The world you see is a mirror, reflecting the energy you carry within. When you dare to imagine boldly, assume your desire with conviction, feel its presence as real, and walk in unwavering faith, the universe responds with unshakable precision. You no longer chase outcomes. You align with them. You no longer plead for change. You embody it. The invisible becomes visible, not through effort, but through alignment. Everything begins within. Your thoughts are seeds, your emotions are fuel, your assumptions are the blueprint, and your faith is the foundation. You do not need to wait for signs. You are the sign. You do not need permission to rise. You are already chosen. The shift does not begin when things change around you. It begins when you change within. From that sacred inner shift, your outer world must follow. So stand firm, feel deeply, assume powerfully, believe completely. The reality you long for is not outside of you. It is already within, waiting for your energy to open the door.
You see, most people believe that faith is something they must maintain for days, weeks, months, or even years before they see results. They exhaust themselves trying to hold on to a feeling, struggling to maintain belief when their physical senses scream the opposite. But I tell you tonight that this is not faith at all. This is effort, and effort is the very antithesis of faith. True faith requires no effort, because true faith is the natural confidence in that which already is. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you, for in these next few moments, I will reveal to you how 60 seconds of genuine faith, 60 seconds of the feeling of your wish fulfilled, is infinitely more powerful than 60 years of doubt, struggle, and effort. The moment you truly feel yourself to be what you desire to be, that moment you have impressed upon your subconscious mind the pattern of your fulfillment. That impression, once made with feeling, must and will externalize itself in your world of experience. But what is this faith I speak of? It is not belief in something outside of yourself. It is not hope that some external power will grant your desires. Faith, as I use the word, is your awareness of being that which you desire to be. It is the feeling that your wish is already fulfilled, that what you seek is already yours. When you can capture this feeling, when you can live in this assumption for even 1 minute with complete conviction, you have planted the seed that must grow into the harvest of your desire. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. You are thinking of all the times you have tried to believe, all the times you have attempted to feel differently about your circumstances, only to find yourself back where you started. You remember the moments when you almost felt it, when you almost believed, but then doubt crept in and destroyed your confidence. But I ask you to understand this. Those were not failures of faith. They were lessons in preparation for this moment. When you finally understand what faith truly is, faith is not something you work toward. It is something you step into. It is not something you build up over time. It is something you claim in an instant. The woman who has been trying for years to conceive steps into the feeling of motherhood for 1 minute and feels the joy of holding her child. In that minute of genuine feeling, she impresses upon her subconscious mind the fact of her motherhood, and that impression will externalize as the child she desires. The man struggling with financial lack stops fighting his circumstances and for 1 minute feels the natural ease of abundance. In that minute, he becomes wealthy in consciousness, and that consciousness must and will produce wealth in his experience. You must understand that your subconscious mind does not reason. It does not argue with what you impress upon it. It simply accepts as true whatever you give to it with feeling, and then proceeds to make that assumption a fact in your world. This is why 1 minute of the feeling of fulfillment is worth more than a lifetime of struggle. In that minute, you change the fundamental assumption of your being, and your outer world has no choice but to conform to this new inner conviction. But how do you achieve this feeling? How do you step into the assumption of being what you desire to be? The answer lies in understanding that imagination is the creative power of God in man. Your imagination is not some faculty for daydreaming or fantasy. It is the very mechanism through which you create your reality. When you imagine yourself to be something, when you feel yourself to be something, you are actually becoming that something in the only realm that matters, the realm of consciousness. Tonight, I want you to understand that there is no difference between what you are in imagination and what you are in fact. The difference exists only in time. Imagination is fact in the making. When you imagine yourself healthy, you are healthy in consciousness, and health in consciousness must become health in experience. When you imagine yourself successful, you are successful in consciousness, and success in consciousness must become success in experience. The time between the imaginal act and its physical manifestation is simply the interval required for your assumption to harden into fact. This is why I say that 1 minute of faith can change everything. In 1 minute, you can completely alter your fundamental assumption about yourself and your life. In 1 minute, you can move from the consciousness of lack to the consciousness of abundance, from the consciousness of sickness to the consciousness of health, from the consciousness of failure to the consciousness of success. And once you have made this move in consciousness, once you have truly felt yourself to be what you desire to be, the outer world must conform to this inner change. But let me be very clear about what I mean by faith. I do not mean positive thinking, though faith may appear positive to the observer. I do not mean visualization, though faith may involve the use of imagery. I do not mean affirmation, though faith may express itself in words. Faith is the feeling of being what you want to be. It is the inner conviction that what you desire already exists for you. It is the natural confidence that comes from knowing rather than hoping. When you have faith, you do not think about your desire, you think from it. You do not imagine having what you want. You imagine being who you want to be. You do not hope that your wish will be fulfilled. You feel that it already is fulfilled. This shift from thinking about to thinking from imagining having to imagining being, from hoping to knowing, is the difference between mere wishful thinking and the creative power of faith. Consider the woman who desires love in her life. If she spends her time thinking about love, imagining meeting someone, hoping that romance will come, she remains in the consciousness of one who lacks love. But if she spends 1 minute feeling herself to be loved, feeling herself to be cherished and adored, feeling the warmth and joy of being in a loving relationship, she moves into the consciousness of one who is loved. And from this consciousness, love must appear in her experience because consciousness is the only reality. Or consider the man who desires success in his career. If he spends his time worrying about his future, hoping for opportunities, trying to figure out how success will come, he remains in the consciousness of one who struggles. But if he spends 1 minute feeling himself to be successful, feeling the satisfaction and confidence of achievement, feeling the natural ease of one who has reached his goals, he moves into the consciousness of success. And from this consciousness, success must manifest, because what you are in consciousness, you must become in experience. This is the great secret that most never discover. You do not need to know how your desire will be fulfilled. You do not need to understand the process by which your assumption will become fact. You need only to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. The how is the responsibility of your subconscious mind, which contains infinite wisdom and knows exactly how to bring about whatever you have impressed upon it with feeling. But here's where most people fail. They assume the feeling of their wish fulfilled for a moment, then immediately begin to reason about it. They ask themselves, how will this happen? Where will it come from? What if it doesn't work? The moment they begin to reason from their present circumstances, rather than from their desired state, they have broken the spell of faith and returned to the consciousness they are trying to change. Faith requires that you persist in your assumption regardless of what your senses report. Faith requires that you remain loyal to your unseen reality, even when your seen reality seems to contradict it. Faith requires that you continue to feel yourself to be what you desire to be, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. This is not self-deception. This is the creative process itself. You see, what you call your present circumstances are nothing more than the externalization of your past assumptions. What you see around you today is the outpicturing of what you believed about yourself and your life in the past. If you judge by appearances, if you let your present circumstances determine your faith, you will never change anything, because you will continue to create more of the same. But when you understand that circumstances are effects, not causes, you are free to choose new causes through new assumptions. When you realize that your outer world is simply reflecting your inner world, you know that to change the outer, you must first change the inner. And changing the inner requires nothing more than assuming the feeling of being what you want to be and persisting in that assumption until it becomes natural to you. This is why 1 minute of genuine faith is so powerful. In that minute, you step out of the old assumption and into the new. In that minute, you stop being who you were and become who you want to be. In that minute, you plant the seed that must grow into the harvest of your desire. It matters not how long you have been in your present state, how many years you have struggled, how impossible your desire may seem. 1 minute of the feeling of fulfillment can change everything. I have seen this principle work countless times in countless lives. I have seen the barren woman conceive after feeling herself to be a mother for just moments. I have seen the unemployed man find work after assuming the feeling of employment. I have seen the sick healed, the poor made rich, the lonely find love, all through the simple act of assuming the feeling of their wish fulfilled and persisting in that assumption. But you must understand that this is not magic. This is law. This is the law by which all things are created, by which all changes are made, by which all desires are fulfilled. You are not asking for special favors from the universe when you practice this law. You are simply cooperating with the creative principle that is always operating in your life, whether you are conscious of it or not. Every moment of every day, you are creating your future through your assumptions about yourself and your life. Most people create unconsciously, assuming whatever feels natural based on their past experiences and present circumstances. But you have the power to create consciously by deliberately choosing what you assume about yourself and your life. When you assume something new about yourself, when you dare to feel yourself to be what you desire to be, that assumption begins immediately to attract to itself everything necessary for its fulfillment. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative power, begins to rearrange circumstances, to attract opportunities, to influence people and events in ways that will make your assumption a fact in your experience. But you must give your subconscious mind a clear impression. You must assume your desire with feeling, for feeling is the secret of successful assumption. An assumption without feeling is like a seed without water. It cannot grow into manifestation. But an assumption made with genuine feeling, even if held for only 1 minute, impresses itself so deeply upon your subconscious mind that it must externalize in your world. Now let me address the question that I know is in many of your minds. How do I develop this feeling? How do I assume something that my senses tell me is not true? The answer is through the use of your imagination, but imagination disciplined and directed toward a specific end. Begin by selecting a scene that would naturally occur if your desire were fulfilled. If you desire wealth, imagine yourself doing something that you would naturally do if you were wealthy. If you desire love, imagine yourself in a scene that implies you are loved. If you desire health, imagine yourself doing something that you would do if you were perfectly healthy. The scene should be simple, natural, and imply the fulfillment of your desire. Then, in the quiet of your own mind, enter that scene, see it, feel it, make it as real as possible. But most importantly, feel yourself to be the person who would naturally be in such a scene. Feel the confidence, the joy, the satisfaction, the naturalness of being who you want to be. Continue in this scene until you feel the reality of it. Until for that moment you are convinced that what you are imagining is true. This is faith, not the belief that something will happen, but the feeling that something is happening. Not the hope that you will receive what you desire, but the conviction that you already have what you desire. Not the wish that you will become what you want to be, but the assumption that you already are what you want to be. And here is the beautiful truth that I want you to understand. The moment you feel yourself to be what you desire to be, you are that in the only realm that matters, the realm of consciousness. And what you are in consciousness, you must become in experience. For consciousness is the only reality and everything else is but its shadow. This is why time is irrelevant when it comes to faith. Whether you maintain this feeling for 1 minute or 1 hour makes no difference in terms of the impression made upon your subconscious mind. The impression is complete the moment you feel it completely. What matters is the depth and conviction of your feeling, not the duration of it. Many people make the mistake of trying to maintain their desired feeling constantly, struggling to hold on to it throughout the day. But this very struggle indicates a lack of faith. For when you truly impress something upon your subconscious mind, you can let it go, knowing that it will externalize in its own time and way. You plant a seed in the ground and then leave it alone, trusting the natural process of growth. In the same way, you impress your desire upon your subconscious mind and then live naturally, trusting the creative process to bring it about. But what about the appearance of delay? What about the fact that manifestation doesn't always occur immediately? Understand that your subconscious mind operates in its own time, which is not necessarily clock time. The subconscious mind must first prepare the path, must arrange circumstances, must influence people, and events to create the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest. This preparation may take time in the outer world, but it begins the moment you make your impression with feeling. Think of it this way: when you plant a seed in the ground, you do not see immediate results. But beneath the surface, invisible to your eyes, the seed is already responding to the water and nutrients in the soil. It is already beginning the process of growth that will eventually result in the plant you desire. In the same way, when you impress your desire upon your subconscious mind with feeling, invisible forces immediately begin working to bring about its manifestation, even though you may not see evidence of this for some time. This is why persistence is so important, but persistence of the right kind. You do not persist in struggling to maintain your desired feeling. You persist in returning to that feeling when that feeling remember to do so. You persist in living from your assumption rather than from your present circumstances. You persist in thinking of yourself as the person you want to be rather than as the person you appear to be. Every time you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you reinforce the impression you have made upon your subconscious mind. Every time you think from your desired state rather than about it, you strengthen your new assumption. Every time you act as if your desire is already fulfilled, you build the consciousness from which it must manifest. But let me emphasize again that this is not a matter of pretending or putting on an act. When you truly assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are not pretending to be something you are not. You are recognizing what you truly are. You are stepping into the reality of your fulfilled desire, which exists now in consciousness and must eventually express itself in experience. This is the great revelation that changes everything. What you seek is seeking you. What you desire already exists for you in consciousness, waiting only for your recognition and acceptance. You do not need to create your good. You need only to become aware of it. You do not need to attract your desires. You need only to assume that they are yours. When you understand this, faith becomes effortless. You no longer struggle to believe because you know. You no longer fight to maintain your desired feeling because you rest in the natural confidence of its reality. You no longer worry about how or when your desire will manifest because you are certain that it must manifest. This certainty is not based on evidence from your outer world. It is based on your understanding of the creative principle itself. You know that consciousness is the only reality, that what you are conscious of being you are, and that what you are must express itself in your world of experience. This knowledge gives you the faith to assume any desired state and persist in that assumption until it becomes fact. But faith also requires courage, the courage to assume something new about yourself when everything around you suggests otherwise. It takes courage to feel wealthy when your bank account says you are poor. It takes courage to feel healthy when your body seems sick. It takes courage to feel loved when you appear to be alone. But this courage is justified because you are not ignoring reality. You are choosing which reality to focus upon. You see, there are infinite realities, infinite possibilities, infinite versions of yourself in your life. In one reality, you are exactly as you appear to be now. In another reality, you are everything you desire to be. Both realities exist now in consciousness. The question is not whether your desired reality exists. It does. The question is which reality you will choose to occupy with your feeling and attention. When you feel yourself to be what you desire to be, you move into the reality where that is true. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you shift from the consciousness where your desire is absent to the consciousness where your desire is present. This shift in consciousness is the movement between realities, and this movement is always available to you, always possible, always effective. This is why I tell you that 1 minute of faith can change everything. In 1 minute, you can make the shift from any unwanted reality to any desired reality. In 1 minute, you can move from lack to abundance, from sickness to health, from loneliness to love, from failure to success. The movement is instantaneous because it is a movement in consciousness, and consciousness is not limited by time or space or any other physical constraint. But you must make the movement completely. You cannot stand with 1 foot in your old reality and 1 foot in your new reality. You cannot assume your desire partially or conditionally. You must fully occupy the consciousness of your fulfilled desire, must completely feel yourself to be what you want to be, must entirely give yourself to the assumption of your wish fulfilled. This complete surrender to your assumption is what I mean by faith. It is not belief mixed with doubt, hope mixed with fear, or confidence mixed with uncertainty. It is the wholehearted acceptance of your desired state as your present reality. It is the unreserved feeling of being what you want to be. It is the total conviction that what you have assumed is true. And when you achieve this state, even if only for 1 minute, you have done all that is necessary. You have impressed your desire so deeply upon your subconscious mind that it must externalize. You have shifted so completely into the consciousness of your fulfilled desire that you must experience its manifestation. You have planted the seed so perfectly in the fertile soil of your subconscious that it must grow into the harvest you seek. From that point forward, your only responsibility is to remain faithful to your assumption. Not faithful in the sense of struggling to maintain a feeling, but faithful in the sense of living from your new assumption rather than from your old one. When thoughts arise that contradict your assumption, gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When circumstances seem to deny your assumption, remember that circumstances are effects, not causes, and effects must change to match new causes. This is the patience of faith, not the patience of waiting for something to happen, but the patience of one who knows that what they have assumed must happen. It is the patience of the farmer who has planted his seed and now simply tends his field, knowing that harvest time will come. It is the patience of the mother who carries her child, knowing that birth is inevitable. With this understanding, you can approach any desire with confidence, no matter how impossible it may seem, no matter how long you have been without it, no matter what others may say about its likelihood. You know that 1 minute of the feeling of its fulfillment is enough to set the creative process in motion. You know that your assumption made with feeling must externalize as fact in your world. This is the promise I make to you tonight. If you will dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you will persist in that assumption until it feels natural, if you will remain faithful to your new concept of yourself, regardless of appearances, you will see that assumption become fact in your experience. Not because I say so, but because this is the law by which all things are created and by which all desires are fulfilled. You are the operant power in your world. You are the creative force in your experience. You are the one who determines what you will be and have and experience through your assumptions about yourself and your life. This is not a power you must develop. It is a power you already possess and are already using, consciously or unconsciously, every moment of your life. The only question is whether you will continue to use this power unconsciously, creating by default based on your past experiences and present circumstances, or whether you will begin to use it consciously, creating by design based on your desires and intentions. The choice is yours, and the power to make that choice is available to you right now, in this very moment. So I challenge you tonight, choose one desire, one wish, one dream that you want to see fulfilled in your life. Now, for the next minute, assume the feeling of that wish fulfilled. Feel yourself to be what you desire to be. Enter into the joy, the satisfaction, the naturalness of having what you want. Make it real in your imagination, but more than that, make it real in your feeling. Do not think about how it will happen, or when it will happen, or whether it will happen. Simply feel that it is happening, that it has happened, that in the realm of consciousness, it is already complete. Give yourself completely to this feeling for 1 full minute. And in that minute, plant the seed that must grow into the harvest of your desire. This is faith, the faith that moves mountains, the faith that makes all things possible, the faith that transforms dreams into realities. And this faith is not reserved for the special few. It is available to anyone who will dare to assume the feeling of their wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption until it becomes fact. You have within you right now everything you need to begin creating the life you desire. You have imagination to conceive it, feeling to impress it upon your subconscious mind, and faith to persist in your assumption until it manifests. What more could you possibly need? What else could you possibly want? The time for excuses is over. The time for doubt is over. The time for waiting is over. The power is yours, the method is simple, and the result is certain. All that remains is for you to use this power, to apply this method to claim your result. 1 minute of faith, my friends, 1 minute of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. 1 minute of complete assumption that what you desire is already yours. That is all it takes to begin the process that will transform your entire life. That is all it takes to move from where you are to where you want to be. That is all it takes to turn your dreams into your reality. Will you give yourself that minute? Will you dare to assume what you desire? Will you have the faith to feel yourself to be what you want to be? The choice is yours, the power is yours, and the moment is now.